Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing really well. So I'm in a great mood today because if you can tell, I am wearing my It's Time shirt by Mariah Carey, and it is officially the 1st of December, which means that it is socially acceptable for me to wear this shirt. Have I been wearing it before the 1st of December? Absolutely. But you know what? It's time! Does anyone know that? You better. Otherwise, it just looks like I'm wearing a shirt that says It's Time and then Mariah Carey's face, which would still be fun. Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing really well. So, to kick off the month, I have been sent this post that has been doing the rounds on Reddit. It was actually on a Trisha Paytas Reddit. Now, I thought she had all of them on, like, gridlock. I thought she had all of them shut down, but I guess it's more of, like, a neutral subreddit this time, so I guess it is allowed to stay up. But they were talking about her recent podcast. Now, I hadn't actually seen her recent podcast, but I'd seen the title. Now, the title of her podcast was Forgiving Shane and Ryland and exposing the David Dobrik documentary with Casey Neistat. Now, that initial title, obviously Forgiving Shane and Ryland, got a lot of people's attentions, and I was going to eventually get around to watching it. It was literally only posted a day ago. But then whenever I saw this Reddit post, I was like, wait, what are they actually talking about in this? So let's dive into the Reddit post, and then we're going to get to what they talk about in the podcast. So let's just dive right in. So it says, Trisha is being a hypocrite about Shane. So I don't even know I don't know if she forgives Shane, she doesn't, she wants to be friends with him. But this post was really interesting. It says, I'm surprised this hasn't been posted here yet, or it has been and I missed it. But Trisha is very hypocritical when it comes to Shane Dawson. Every episode she brings up Colleen Ballinger and how gross Colleen is for talking to minors. Yet she never talks about what Shane has done. I understand that they were once best friends, but it is very odd to consistently talk about Colleen's grooming without even acknowledging Shane's grooming. I am wondering if Trisha doesn't believe the Shane stories or if she just doesn't want to touch on it because Shane gave her the start on YouTube. Either way, I find it great. I also think as well, I don't know if it's fair to say that Shane gave Trisha a start on YouTube, because I would argue that, I don't know if this is unpopular, but I would argue that Trisha Paytas works harder at YouTube than what Shane Dawson does. Actually, yeah, I fully stand behind that. I mean, even since the start, I think that Trisha has worked harder on YouTube. I think the amount that she uploads, whether she edits them or not, that's a lot of devoting time to uploading. I would say that Trisha worked hard to get, well, I mean, you know, a lot of her come up was trolling and stuff. But I mean, in terms of working and putting out content, I don't think you can take away the success that Trisha got, whatever way she got it. You know what I mean? She got it through offending different kinds of people and different groups of people. But anyway, she was uploading a lot, and I don't necessarily think you can just put that down to Shane. Do I think that Shane Dawson boosted Trisha's career? Absolutely. Do I think Trisha boosted Shane's career? Yeah, I think this was the ecosystem of YouTube at the time where creators would collaborate, they would, you know, have friend groups, some were real, some were fake, some fell out, some got back together. So I don't necessarily think Shane gave Trisha a start on YouTube at all. I mean, I may stand corrected on that, but I remember watching YouTube during that era, and I think that Trisha and Shane were very two different entities on YouTube and then kind of came together, but what do I know? What do I know? Okay. Either way, I find it gross. She's right for hating Colleen, but Shane is equally as bad, if not worse, and she should acknowledge that. Her talking about possibly wanting to be friends with him again and their kids playing together really worries me. I hope she won't allow her babies around him. So we'll read a couple of replies on this and then we'll get into this. So the top reply is from Star Apple 2563. I wish she would stop talking about Shane. He does not deserve a single apology from her. Majority of the comments from the live chat do not want them to come together, aside from a few fans who still stand behind Shane. Sometimes I wish Trisha would just listen to her fans more because I really don't want her going back to past relationships. I get why she's so fond of Shane, but she needs to truly forget about his existence. Shane does not care about her, so why would she? So someone replied and said, the Shane she has good memories with doesn't exist now. It's very difficult parting ways with a friend, but at most times they aren't the same person that you grew to love in the beginning. That Shane has never really existed because he was dogging her behind her back constantly to other creators. The herpes rumor that started from Shane telling Gabby Hanna, what kind of friend does that? People are saying, yeah, he always had ulterior motives. All right, let's see if there's any other opinions maybe disagreeing with this person. I've been in treatment for BPD the last 7 years. I'm 40 now and very much so emotionally regulated. The way I think took literally reprogramming my brain. CBT and DBT, it took years and years to get back here. Trisha is only a few years into working on a lifetime of trauma and different behaviors. If we love Trisha, we have to allow her the grace to still figure out how she feels about people. I think when she's in the moment, I believe she believes what she's saying. I think she has a lot of unaddressed trauma that she needs to unpack. She deserves to give herself the chance to heal from her past. Okay. Amen. I'm about 2.5 years in the correct treatment, and untangling your feelings and gaining clarity about your relationships that you were triggered in is such an important step. But it's messy. Messy, messy, messy. Someone can objectively have been a bad person and let you down in important ways, and you can still perceive them as the same person when they were a major source of support for you during difficult times. Both of those things are true of Shane in this case. People don't get how important it is for us to learn that contradictory thoughts and feelings can exist at the same time, and that is okay. Breaking down the black and white pattern of thinking is the hardest part, and Trisha learning to do this is a major reason why everyone is praising her right now, saying that she's matured. It's not because she's constantly at war with every single individual. Someone said, I'm very happy that she's found the right treatment and obviously putting in the right work. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to Trisha. Shane is evil and a master emotional manipulator. This is coming from someone who used to watch him every day for almost a decade. He will use being a parent to bond with Trisha the same way that Colleen did. And he's probably trying to weasel his way back in her life right now, that she's very popular again and everyone wants to be on her podcast. Why can't she see that? This is what I think too. I think Trisha's so used to apologizing and chasing after people and their love and friendship that she thinks she has to make peace with everyone. I also don't think she knows the full extent of what Shane has done. He conveniently only apologized publicly for the very mild things. Okay, this one, someone responded well put, so we'll end it on this one before we get to what, because we still haven't heard what she says, right? So I'm not going to give an opinion until I know what she says. I'm not just going to base it off of Reddit posts. Recently, when Trisha talked about James Charles, she says it's a good thing when people bring up people's past. Wait, what? Recently, when Trisha has talked about James Charles, she says it's a good thing when people bring up his past again, because sometimes it's easy for people to forget all the details. She included herself and said that she had forgotten some of it too. I think when she was friends with Shane, she buried her head in the sand and never looked into it, and then briefly looked into it when she was upset with him because of their falling out. But now I think she's forgotten the details again. Trisha has also been on the receiving end of a cancellation and is more likely to give people second chances even if they don't deserve it. She's been the one who told poor taste jokes and wishing people allowed her the room to grow, so I can understand why she is doing that to Shane, kind of extending an olive branch. Okay. Interesting. Let's get into it. So this is Forgiving Shane and Ryland on the Just Trish podcast. This was uploaded 2 days ago. Their recent podcast. Go and watch the entire thing if you want. It's 2 hours, 30 minutes. Let's get, ooh, fun shirt from Moses. Look at that little shirt. All right, let's get into it.
That's what she calls him. And it was all pretty much like happy news. Like she talked about baby Elvis, and then she talked about Shane and Ryland moving back to LA.
I think Spielslash is a secret fan. I don't know if it's secret or not. Secret.
She DM'd me once saying, yeah.
So, she DM'd me too.
Yeah, she's sweet. I mean, even before that, I've liked her stuff, but
we love Spielslash for real. I love her, and I like her videos.
I do love her videos.
I love that she was a former TMZ. Like I loved all of it. People
journalist, which makes sense because she does give journalism.
And she's like on it. She's quick.
Yeah,
she made money. She bought a house. She said from her videos.
Oh, did she really?
I think that's what she said in her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, what?
Not Trisha Paytas knowing the Spielslash lore.
Like baby Elvis. She talked about Tana and Brooke, and then she also what I thought was interesting because I kind of forgot.
Baby Elvis is Trisha's new baby.
Back to LA to have their twins.
Oh my god. Really?
Yeah. Wait. Oh. Yeah. They moving.
What?
So yeah, for context, Trisha is currently pregnant with baby Elvis, obviously. And Shane and Ryland are about to have their twins. Did they say January? I think it was like December or January. And they're moving back to LA to raise the babies, which, listen, I'm never going to dog on someone's parenting style. But I think there's something really interesting about the life that Shane and Ryland have shown from what we've seen in their videos of Colorado. It's Colorado, right? Because Jeffrey's in Wyoming. Colorado, where they're in this, lovely kind of quaint house in like a quaint neighborhood, and it seems very family oriented. They're close to Ryland's family. It seems very interesting to me that whenever they're raising their babies, they would go back to Los Angeles rather than staying in the comfortability of somewhere homey like Colorado. Obviously, I don't know their routine, so maybe LA is better for them, but I think it's really interesting to raise your baby in Los Angeles whenever you've been very outspoken about the fact that you needed to get away from Los Angeles. I don't know. It's interesting.
I know they're pregnant. I didn't know. Well, I mean, you know what I mean? No, wait, what? Wait, what? What happened?
They're moving back
They're having
to
twins?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
I struggle to believe Trisha didn't know that. The self-proclaimed person who says that she goes through Reddits and YouTube deep dives of like people she used to be friends with. You're telling me Trisha Paytas does not know that Shane and Ryland are having twins, considering it's all that either of them post? Okay, Trisha, it's all right to act naive. Okay, all right.
What? Where was their announcement? Did they make an announcement? I might not know
they're
this.
Twins. They're moving back to LA.
Where's the announcement photo?
I don't know. I don't keep up with them that much.
How
but
did they announce it? I love announcements. How did that happen? How did I miss
a YouTube
it?
video, maybe on Ryland's channel. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, because probably Ryland's channel, I'm assuming.
All right, well, good for them. Happy for them.
But yeah, they're having twins, so they moved back
dads.
to LA. And then
Wait, are the twins here?
No, they're not. They're almost here soon.
Like when?
I think within the next month
Do
or
I
two.
send a gift? Or no?
That's what I was trying to ask you.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to see that, because I feel like before when they were in Montana,
Hannah Montana. Well, I mean, did they send Trisha a gift? You know what I mean? If they gave you a gift, do you give them one back? But did they give Trisha a gift? I feel like they hated Trisha whenever Trisha gave birth to Malibu.
Why is everyone up in Montana? Isn't Jeffrey up there? Everyone's up there.
Jeffrey's in Wyoming.
Oh my God. What is the difference?
I know.
Montana, Wyoming.
I think they're in Montana.
Are these two separate states? I really thought they were like the same
separate
state.
states, yes,
My gosh. They morph into each other.
Yeah, when they were in Montana, I felt like they were just so like removed from like YouTube community. So I kind of like, not in the shade, just you kind of like forget, because, you know, when they're not like intermingling, you know, and they're just doing their own thing.
I literally forgot. Not shady.
Yeah,
literally forgot.
same.
I was just like, wait.
Yeah.
When you said that, I was like, oh my God. It's like, it triggered something. Like, wait. It like brought you back to a time in life, like Shane and Ryland, like, whoa.
I know.
Yeah.
Then I was thinking like, okay, they're about to have twins. You're having a baby in a few months. So it was like, what do you think? Do you think there's anything
They're real low key, because like I didn't see their announcement anywhere. That's crazy. I mean, maybe they love that though. Maybe they, obviously when you move to like Montana or wherever they went, you know, obviously you go to be forgotten, I guess. Like, I guess you go to be out of the spotlight.
Keep a low profile.
People in Montana right now, what do you mean? Little old me. I don't want to be forgotten.
I think like Demi Moore did that. I think she moved to like Wyoming at
Demi Moore and Shane Dawson and Ryland Adams. Very similar people here, yeah.
some point to be out of the spotlight. So I think like that's where you go when you want to be. So I guess they wanted to keep it low key, which is cute. I like that. I respect it.
I know they said.
I wonder if he's going to name it Chandler, because he always said he was going to name his baby Chandler.
Really?
I wonder if one of them are Chandler. Especially now. He always said that he was going to name his babies Chandler.
Oh, that'd be...
Oh my God, that's
I don't
wild.
think they talked about baby names
No?
yet. So,
Okay.
as far as I know.
Oh my God, even I know their baby names. What is it? Jet and Fox or something? Jet and Robert? What's the baby's names? Jet and Jetson or something? Jetson and... I know one of them is called Jetson. What's the other one called? Fox? Something? Jack? What's the second baby called? We should not know this information.
Oh.
I feel like Spill Shash would have put it in her video if they said names or like even gender or anything.
Yeah.
They did say names.
I don't think so.
Okay, love. They're going to be surprised.
I mean, maybe they know, but they haven't announced it yet. Probably should have watched more of their videos.
I know.
I didn't expect you to not.
Amazing research, Oscar. Amazing research.
Oh, so that's.
I'm shook.
I was expecting you to tell me.
I literally am like so shook right now. Good for them. I'm like, I'm shook. Wow, everyone's having babies.
Yeah,
It's a baby boom happening right now.
That's what I was. So
We love it.
what do you think? Like, if is there any reconciliation that can
Oh, I
happen?
love that you're asking me this, T.
Yeah.
I feel like you're a journalist right now. I feel like we're in Entertainment Tonight.
We're flipping.
I was like, no, Entertainment
turns on
Tonight.
tables.
Yes. You want this as your headline.
I
no.
feel like they would have to come.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't expect you to like make the first move or anything. But what if they came to you? I don't know.
Oh,
Just because
it's
also
such-
like parenthood, I feel like just changes everyone. So
Definitely that. And I know for me, and I've gotten in trouble saying this before, like
I think one thing I want to give context for in Oscar's point here, where he keeps saying, like parenting is changing people. Okay, so with how outspoken Trisha Paytas is about James Charles, if James Charles was to announce, here's a hypothetical, if James Charles was to announce that he was having a baby and he had a surrogate and his baby's going to be born next month, would Trisha love James because he has a baby? Or would Trisha continue to call him out for predatory behavior? Like, are we going to continue doing that with Shane as well? Because there was a time on YouTube where Trisha talked about Shane being inappropriate with children as well. So, I mean, someone becoming a parent doesn't evade me particularly forgetting anything that they have done. If anything, it kind of makes me hone in on it a little bit more because they know I have a child. But maybe that's just me.
Forget so many things because it's like life now is so different, and so that doesn't take away like if I've like hurt somebody or like hurt their feelings or whatever. And like honestly, like I really have to think about the situation. Like I kind of know for me what was like the hurtful part, that like where I was like, I'm over this friendship. But even when I think about that, I'm like, and maybe they perceive it a totally different way. Maybe they think that I really betrayed them or something. I don't know what it is, but it's like anything though. It's like even when they said, we can say it, it's whatever, it's fine, you know, whatever. Like when I said the thing about Jeffrey where I was like, I forgot, you know, it's like, you know, obviously I don't forget, but it's like, it's so not a part of my like.
So what Trisha's talking about there is, I had actually seen, I think it was Peter Mon talk about this. Was it Peter Mon or was it something on Reddit? That apparently Trisha was getting backlash because she was asked about Jeffrey and like they're falling out or something. And she was like, oh, like, you know, I don't even remember what happened. And people, or no, Jeffrey got angry because Jeffrey was saying like, how did you, you know, take me down so far and ruin my, you know, reputation, if you can even ruin Jeffrey's reputation, and then a couple months later be like, I don't even remember why I was upset with you. And Trisha said that the reason she said that was because she just doesn't want to go back to that place, and it's kind of like selective choosing. But a lot of people had a problem with it because it's like, if you have such a strong opinion, when you're asked about it again, you're not going to be like, oh, I actually don't remember why I was angry at that person or why I didn't like that person anymore. So that's what she's referencing there. If you want a little bit of lore. I'm just noticing the Nicki Minaj perfume that is just sitting on the table. The new Nicki Minaj perfume. Okay. I wonder what it smells like. Pink Friday. What's your name, B.O.B.? So they calling you Bob.
Life, and it's something that I don't even think about because it's like my life now and who I am now is so different. It's like
anyone know that My Life is Eva song? Literally, my life is beaches every single night. Literally, my life is... Anyone know it? If anyone knows that, can you please comment? Literally, my life is beaches every single night. If you don't know, it was like one of the really popular like teen girl YouTubers, and she came out with the most camp song of all time when she was like 16. She was like running around the beach with all her YouTube friends. Very Rebecca Black. Literally, my life is beaches every single night.
The vlogs about like anything. It almost feels like, I think that's why I'm so comfortable talking about like anything like Shane or David or any stuff like that, because it's so far removed from who I am now. So it's like this thing. And Shane, like oh my God, like I loved Shane so much. And obviously the aftermath of the falling out or whatever is hearing stuff. Oh, he talked about you, talk shit. And it's like, you know, when you're young and like, I don't doubt it. You know, I don't doubt it. It's like, you know, we would talk shit about people. So it makes sense that he would talk shit about me, whatever. But again, like, I think it changes you. One, age changes you so much. Like just aging, you're just like, oh my God. When I think about all the time I've wasted, like making fun of people's like videos and stuff like that, like it was weird. It's weird energy to put out there because it was coming back to me. I don't know. It's all weird. I loved Shane. I think for me, that was like the hardest because also my thing that ended like our friendship, I guess you could say, it wasn't really necessarily to do with Shane directly. So it's kind of like, it was just hard to like lose that. Because there's the one person I never talked about was Shane. The one person who I thought will be.
I think there's something so off-putting about Trisha being like, that was the only reason that, you know, I didn't want to be friends with him anymore was because he talked shit about me. And I completely get it. Like when you feel so personally involved with the situation, that's when you finally want to act on it. Like the Colleen Ballinger one with Trisha as well. Like I understand it. But I think to call people out to the level she does who are inappropriate with, you know, minors or young people like Jason Nash or James Charles and all these different people. And then Shane Dawson, who arguably has the most, being like, well, I don't care about any of that, but I care about the fact that he upset me. Like, you can be angry about both of them at the same time. To kind of diminish them kind of takes away when you call anyone else out for it, because it's like, oh, how are we supposed to take you seriously when you say that, you know, James Charles did this whenever, you know, like, you know what I mean?
In my life forever is Shane. The one person I was like, this person has my back, really has loved me through all my cancellations, was like there for me, told me like everything's gonna be okay, was the first guest on my first solo podcast. Like just anytime I needed him in a vlog or anything, like he would like show up. So it's like that was like such a hard friendship. And I do think about this. I think about this a lot. And maybe not like all the time now, but it was for a minute where I was like, oh, if he emailed me, like around the wedding or something like that, I thought, oh, should I invite him and stuff like that? Because it's like he was such a big part of my life. But I feel like too much time has passed, if that makes sense. Like too much has shifted, everything has changed, and because my life is on such a...
Again, in the most respectful way, to say that you kind of would have had him invited to your wedding. Like, I understand when you're so personally involved with someone and they're your friend and, you know, you have so much history, but like to kind of say that where you would be like, oh, you know, I would invite them to my wedding. That's like saying like, if you got married in a month's time, would you be inviting James Charles, David Dobrik, Jason Nash, Colleen Ballinger? Like, no, because you think that things that they've done has been inappropriate. And Shane Dawson probably is the person who out of everyone has the most evidence out there. So it's like to completely evade that, just feel, I don't care how much time has passed. Go back and educate yourself again. Like, I don't know.
Good trajectory now. It's like, do I go back? Do they want that? Do you know what I mean?
But why would you want that with someone who has been inappropriate with so many children? You know what I mean? Isn't that what you call out? Like, that should be enough. I understand nostalgia and living in the past and stuff, but that should be enough with the utmost love and respect.
You know, there's toxicity that was happened in the past. Can you truly forget it and move on? I know, like, I could, but being an overthinker, I would just think like, oh, maybe they can't. Maybe they still have some sort of resentment towards me. Maybe they still look at me side eye. But I know for me, I literally could move past anything. Jeffree Star could sit here and like, I would be fine. Like, I would be fine. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things I don't forgive for sure. Certain people in my life, and I either just don't talk about them or like just cut it off completely. You know what I mean? So like,
I think for me, at a certain stage, if I'm friends with someone all of my life, and one day, so much evidence goes online showing them being inappropriate with minors. You know, asking minors to twerk for them. You know, kissing minors. You know, all these different things, right? You know, talking about sex with minors, all these different things like Shane was doing. I think that, and say that person in the past had done me wrong and we weren't friends anymore. I think I would be more focused on the fact that they were inappropriate with minors before my feelings were hurt. You know what I mean? Like, it's valid for your feelings to be hurt, but like, I feel that in that situation, I would have preferred to have dropped that person forever because they were inappropriate with children, rather than, you know, my feelings got hurt kind of thing. I understand that, but I just think morally it's kind of a pissy take to have.
Talking about, if I talk about someone, I move past it. It's not something so, there was no lives ruined over it. You know, if there was, I just don't talk about that person, whatever. But yeah, but I think it's just like, we're on such different paths, like so too much time has passed. I don't know. It is weird. I always just think too, like if you see, because they do live close. We live close to each other. But they're moving back to the same house. I actually don't know. This was years ago. Yeah. They are. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, so they kept the house. Okay, bougie. Okay, ballin', flex. They have two houses.
They have them both. Yeah.
Okay, so I always think about that because it's like we especially we go to the area all the time to eat and stuff like that. So I was like, oh my god, that'd be like, do you just like hide if you see something? Like I always think, and I never. It's weird. They always say LA's a small town. I never run into anybody that I know, which is like crazy. People, I know you do. Like a horror night, I never run into. I guess I don't leave my house, but I always think about that. I'm like, do you say hi? Do you whatever? But yeah, it's I would love to. And I like, oh God. And I think when they have those babies, like they'll change so much where I feel like, again, for me, and I like as being a mom, it's like literally nothing else in my path. Like nothing matters. Like I don't care about anything. I don't care. Like, you know, but I know I've changed so much. So it's like, would we even be friends? You know, would we even be, because I'm sure they've changed, like, especially if they're in like Montana or something. It's like, you know, they're probably, I don't know. Montana seems kind of like the equivalent, like the state equivalent of like conversion therapy. It feels like you go there to just be like changed.
Oh my God. Sorry to the people of Montana. Shane and Ryland aren't even fucking living there and you're getting lashings today. Fuck me. Montana is like conversion therapy. What a banger from Trisha.
Okay, but just changed. You know what I mean? Like we're just gonna, so, and maybe they seem so low key. I never hear anything again. I never hear anything about them. So maybe they're like living their best life and they love it that way. Because I know Shane always kind of wanted to maybe not be in the spotlight. Like he always wanted to like direct or something like that. So to answer your question, I don't know. Also, when you have, the other thing is when you have babies close in age, sometimes you're just like, oh, it'd be like a cute, because we struggle to find a play date. Yeah. So the friends we do have that have babies, we're like become closer than ever. You know what I mean? And I think that's why I became friends with like Rose so quickly, because her sister Molly, our kids are like a month apart. And so I think you just become closer because it's for your kids. So I don't know. It's hard. If it was like perfect world, everyone could be forgiven. I know I've forgiven. If everyone's like, okay, like that was a long time ago, like everything's forgiven. Yes, because I would, oh my gosh, like especially seeing someone in their like parent era is so beautiful. And like, especially The first year they say is the toughest, and I totally agree because now that she's over a year, oh my God, now she's just like fun, chill. It's like she has a personality. The first year is tough, but there's so much change that's happening, and it's just so like I'm excited to have another baby just so I can enjoy it more because it's like it goes by so fast. But in the moment, you think like, oh my God, it's gonna last forever. So I think just seeing someone like with their new babies and stuff is such a beautiful thing, and I think I know they'll be good parents. And Shane is people always come for him for like calling himself an empath, but he is very like empathetic. He's very like has sympathy for a lot of people. So I don't know. I would
Just had to throw that in there.
if they come on the Just Church podcast. Just kidding. I would be open to it. Like even Drew, when he's just like, I just want to, if we could just have like lunch first. I love that. I love the idea of it. And me and Drew never had like a falling out, but
I love Drew.
there's something I love Drew. He's our most requested
number one
guest.
dream guest.
He's the dream guest.
He's my dream guest.
He's the dream guest. His sister Lily, tell him, come on, because like I told him, I'm like you can edit anything you want.
Literally, we'll give you the episode.
You will give you the episode. Edit yourself. I don't, whatever you need. Like because he's so entertaining, and it's like I told him like there doesn't even be about drama. It doesn't be a shame about anyone. Like it's just like people want to know about you, and he's so fascinating. So yeah,
Like I said, I haven't like really kept up with them. So seeing that they're back in the old house, having babies around the same time as you, all of a sudden I was like, wait.
Oh my God, are we in 2018? Or no, that's even before. Like Shane was like 2017.
You know what I mean? I can appreciate a lot of things and kind of look past a lot of things, but I just think whenever you're willing to sit here and say this about someone like Shane Dawson, who again, arguably is YouTube's like, if people think of like a YouTube creep in the most respectful way, like they think of Shane Dawson because there's just so much out there. It kind of makes me think like, oh, when Trisha's calling out other creators for being inappropriate with children, like, does that really hold up anymore? Like here we have her being like, oh, well, our babies will be close in age. So yeah, come on the podcast. Let's be friends again. Like, I don't know. It just comes across as very like rules for thee, not for me kind of thing. Because I promise you, if James Charles was having a baby, she would not have this attitude. And again, I can be sympathetic towards, having history with someone and now you have babies and it's, close in age and that's exciting. But it's like, if you really felt as strongly as what you did about Shane Dawson being inappropriate with children or any of these people being inappropriate with children, that should be enough to not want your children around them, right? Like, not even not being friends with them, you shouldn't want your children around them, right?
And we spent like every weekend together, like everything. Like it was just, it's so crazy. So I think 2017, because I met David was like 2018, and then like Shane and I just weren't close after that, like 2019 and stuff. So during the pandemic, I guess we saw them a lot more. We did see them quite a bit, like in 2020. I'm shocked. I'm shook right now. I was like, oh my God, they're going to be parents. Like, I'm still the mentality that everyone's like 16 years old. So it's like, oh my God, are they even?
I know.
But, we're like old to be parents. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see the shift, like once the babies are here. Because I know that like, I feel like what I've seen in like in this like spill session videos and stuff, they do have a lot of like the same like mannerisms and like senses of humor and stuff. So and yours was so like different post Malibu,
Oh,
like
yeah.
So I'm interested to see like that like maturity and like how they like look at life differently and stuff. Like looking at your old videos versus now is so
crazy,
wild. Like I see random like old clips of you on TikTok and stuff. They make everything sounds and memes, and I'm like, I forgot Trisha was like this.
Oh, same. Oh my God. Sometimes I'm like embarrassed. I'm like, oh my God, like it's embarrassed. Like it is. That's why YouTube can be like a blessing and a curse. Because sometimes I'm like, that's so embarrassing, and sometimes it's like endearing. But like some of the ones where I'm like crying and I'm just like, oh my God, like. What, like I would never do that now, like putting out all my emotions on the internet. It's like totally fine if you want to do that and stuff like that, but it's just like, wow, I like couldn't keep it together. It's very weird. Or just the yelling and the aggression but what I noticed in my eyes was always just like, I was always just really sad. And that's what I like always reiterate. It's just like, I was just sad. I was just like lonely. I just never had someone. I was just always sad. So I think that was like more than anything. So like, I think the anger and all that stuff like that came from that, if I'm like psychoanalyzing myself. But yeah, it's crazy. And I always think, oh, like I didn't change that much having a kid and stuff like that. But like, it just does. I don't know what it does. I think it's just like, because nothing matters and nothing is that serious. And that's why I like doing this, because it's like, nothing's that serious unless it is serious. And then it just like really tugs at you even more and you feel some type of way. So Also just age. I mean, aging also, whether you have a baby or not, just age changes you.
Yeah.
Like in your 30s, you're just like, okay, like that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, even for me, there's like a shift. Once I hit like 30, all of a sudden, like, and you don't notice it at first, but then like the way you approach life is just very different. Like your priorities are very different. Like it is wild.
You're not like competing.
Again, I appreciate, you know, your priorities are different when you're 30 and you're willing to move on past a lot of things, but I don't know if your morals should be different.
Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like you're always in like competition with somebody when you're young, whether it's for boys or a job or something. Like, I don't know. That's why I always tell people on my cameo. So like, whenever I give advice, I always say like, especially when they're young, like 21, 20, I'm like, don't like work. Like people are like, oh, she just got broken up with at 20. And I'll be like, don't sweat that stuff. Don't worry about stuff. Because it literally like works out. Like, I don't know how else to tell people that. Like, it just works itself out. And it truly does. Like the way it's meant to be will work out for you. Like, that's it. I don't know. There's literally no way to explain it. I think that's why I'm so grateful for being a mess on the internet, because I feel like that's like the only thing I can like kind of inspire people by is like, it just works out. Like it will work out for you. I don't know how to explain it because I don't know how it worked out for me, but it just does, you know? So I don't know. That's wild. That's so cool. Oh my God. I need to catch up on people having babies. That's so crazy.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there. Again, how can I, you know, say this in the best way possible? I just think there's so much about Shane that can't be overlooked, especially when it comes to protecting your children. And I hope she stands by her morals that apparently she has when it comes to protecting children. I don't know. I saw the Reddit post. I wanted to dive a little bit into it. There is that. Anyway, their podcast set looks cute. I hope Trisha, Moses, and Oscar are doing well. I hope you're all doing well. Happy December. And again, it's time. I will see you all very soon. I'm excited for the festive Christmas season. I am going to be in Leeds. Oh my God. For the first time ever when you're seeing this video. Hey, it's currently 3 a.m. when I'm filming this, but I'm going to be in Leeds tomorrow. Then I'm coming back to Manchester for a couple days. Then I'm going to Derry for a couple days. Then I'm going to New York for a couple weeks. And I'm seeing MC 3 times. New York and Philadelphia. I'm very excited. So I'm just in a great mood and I'm up filming. So I will talk to you all later. Thank you so much for being here again, and goodbye. It's time.